7:35 Eastern Standard. Good evening. Good evening. What's happening right now in the Southern District of New York should terrify anyone who cares about justice in America. We are witnessing unprecedented level of who have been handling the biggest cases of our time. Latest target, Maureen Comey, federal prosecutor who's been named Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Sean quote Diddy quote Comey. Yes, that Comey, the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey. If you think that's a coincidence, I've got a bridge to sell you. Here's the deal. Here's the facts. Let me break down what we know so far. Maureen Comey wasn't just any prosecutor. She was handling some of the most high-profile, politically sensitive cases. We're talking about cases that involve powerful people, serious crimes, and connections that run deep into elite. The timing here is everything. Trump comes back into office. Suddenly, the prosecutor handling these explosive cases is out the door. Reporters are already surfacing that Trump privately complained about having a Comey working in the administration. Think about that for a second. The President of the United States is making personal decisions based on family names and personal grudges. But here's the bigger picture. This isn't happening in a vacuum. We are seeing a pattern here, a systematic approach to reshaping the justice system. When you fire prosecutors who are actively working on cases involving powerful figures, you are not just changing personnel, you're changing outcomes. Bear with me, everyone. Bear with me. We shall take 2 seconds. Bear with me momentarily. Welcome Joyce to the room. Welcome. I'll be back. Alrighty, thank you all for waiting. We'll get back to our, shall I say, drama. Anyway, here's the bigger picture. I'll pick up from there. This isn't happening in a vacuum. We are seeing a pattern here, and it's called a systematic approach to reshaping the justice system. So, again, when you fire prosecutors who are actively, okay, working on cases involving powerful figures, you're not just changing personnel, you're changing outcomes. So the Southern District of New York has always been known as the quote sovereign district, right? And quote independent, aggressive, willing to take on anyone regardless of their connections. That independence is exactly what's under attack right now. And what does that mean for you and I? Anyone? Here's what we should keep, or here's what should keep you up at night. These cases don't just disappear when prosecutors get fired, they get reassigned. And so that should keep you up at night to think that our government, you know, our government is making these decisions off of his, our president is making these decisions off his menstrual cycle. Okay. One moment he's feeling one way, the next minute he's feeling another way. He's going through these bipolar moments. Anyways, these cases, they get reassigned and new prosecutors come in and suddenly priorities shift, right? Evidence that was being pursued aggressively might not be pursued at all. Witnesses who were being protected might find themselves now vulnerable. We've seen this playbook before. Fire the people asking the hard questions, install loyalists who know which cases to prioritize and which ones to let fade away. It's not about justice, it's about control. So, what is at stake here? Well, this is bigger than partisan politics. This is about whether we are going to have a justice system that works for everyone or one that protects the powerful while throwing everyone else under the bus. When prosecutors get fired for doing their jobs, when cases get derailed because they are politically inconvenient, we are not talking about politics anymore. We are talking about the collapse of the rule of law. Every American should be asking themselves if they can fire prosecutors investigating powerful people today, what's stopping them from coming after anyone who challenges the system tomorrow? Well, here's the reality check. Look, I get it. Some of you are thinking this is just how politics work. But that's exactly the problem. Justice isn't supposed to be political. Prosecutors aren't supposed to be fired because their last name makes the president uncomfortable. Cases aren't supposed to be derailed because they are inconvenient for people in power. This is a stress test for the American democracy. It really is. And right now, we are failing. So, what happens? Everybody out there is thinking, what happens next? The question isn't whether this is going to get worse, it's how much worse it's going to get before people start paying attention. We are watching the systematic dismantling of prosecutorial independence in real time, and most people are treating it like it's just another news cycle. But here's the thing. Once you break the justice system, it doesn't just fix itself. Once you establish that prosecutors serve at the pleasure of politicians rather than the law, you've crossed a line that incredibly is hard to uncross. Well, folks, this isn't about left versus right. This isn't about Democratic versus Republican. This is about whether you're going to have a country where justice is blind or one where justice depends on who you know and who has pissed you off. The people who should be most concerned about this are the ones who think they are safe because they are on the right side politically. Because power doesn't stay in the same hands forever, and the precedents you set today will be used against you tomorrow. And I say this now before I leave this specific live stream, because I have more to come. The firing of Maureen Comey is a symptom of a much larger disease. We are watching the weaponization of the justice system in real time, and the scariest part is how normalized it's becoming. When firing prosecutors becomes routine, when cases get derailed for political reasons, when the rule of law becomes secondary to political loyalty, that's not American democracy anymore, ladies and gentlemen. That's something else entirely. And if we don't start treating this like the crisis it is, we are going to wake up in a country we don't recognize. The question is, are we going to let that happen, or are we going to demand better? The choice is still ours for right now. Now, folks, what do you think? Are we overreacting? Or is this exactly the kind of thing we should be worried about? Let me know in the comments. This is just the beginning. But please subscribe and hit that notification bell because this story is far from over. The truth is uncomfortable, but it's still the truth. Share this if you think people need to hear it. Have a good night and thank you for listening.